Greetings! Welcome to season 30 of the American Wood Shop. I'm Scott Phillips. You'll see Susie later in the season, and today's featured project I grew up with. More on that story in a second, but it's a beauty of a display cabinet. So stick around, we'll make one together. When I was a boy, 5 years old, I'd go to the local candy store, Cane's. They had penny candies, imagine that. And the candy of the week would be displayed in this very case. So I grew up with that. Well, Cane's went out of business years ago, but I got the case. And this is a gem. Used to store candy, now it stores other things. Candy of my own, the tools, the carvings. And I bet you can find a dozen different ways to use this because it's a perfect size to set on a countertop, even into shelves. It's 14 inches square, and this one's 35 inches tall. I'm going to make mine slightly taller, 38. So we do that by using red oak and staining the red oak. And I have to build the door heavy duty down at the bottom, but then all the other parts are very easy to make. Starts over at the planer. Let's get to it. Take a look at that. My goodness, that surface is just so smooth. Now, that's done on a helical head planer, and that cutter head, when it turns off, you can see all these individual cutters on it that are solid carbide. And the cool thing about these cutters is they have 4 sharp surfaces, and if one of them gets nicked by, say, a knot or a nail, you just use a wrench with it, unplugged naturally, and rotate it 90 degrees, you're back in business. It's changed planing on everything that I do because I barely need to sand it. It's just that smooth. The other thing is, this is red oak, and that is right spot on 3/4 of an inch, which is what I want for all the red oak on this project. Now, one thing that people talk about is, how can you tell red oak from white oak? Well, one way is if you take thin cross sections and you hold the red oak up, I'll turn this on, you can see through it, because the spring wood does not have balloons in it called tyloses like the white oak does. You cannot see through white oak, and that's why they make everything from barrels to ships out of white oak. The USS Constitution, white oak. Now, that's it on red oak. It's carefully selected, so it's got good straight grain, it stays straight, and wood selection is everything. And it doesn't matter what size of your project. And that being said, one of the big projects of the season is outside. Let's go take a look. Cordless circular saws. This thing works all day on one charge. Now, whatever you do, be sure to read, understand, and follow all the instructions that come with the tools and products you use. Work safely. Now, I want to show you something. This is an aerial picture of where we are right now. And what I'm doing is in between my main wood shop right here, which is 110 feet long, and this old barn that was built in 1840 is the concrete pad that you see behind us. And I had it poured 6 inches thick with footers around the edge, called a monolithic pour, so I can build a structure on it. That was in 2001, so almost, well, 21 years ago. So now I'm going to build a shelter over this, nice and tall, because I have a beautiful sea skiff boat that, well, Susie's off right now. She's in Ireland, and before she gets back, I'm hoping to get this built and maybe get the boat that I'm going to restore under it. And that will be a season-long project that you get to look at. So with that being said, I want to show you one thing on making your own trusses. Come with me.